I grew up incredibly lucky. I had loving parents, a safe, stable home, and very few financial problems. My best friend, on the other hand, had a much harder life. Her father walked out when she was young, and she went through immense struggles that I never had to experience or even think about. Because I was so sheltered and oblivious, I used to complain to her about small, insignificant things without realizing how incredibly insensitive I sounded. One time, I actually complained, "My mom doesn't even cook for me anymore. She just tells me to get something from the kitchen." I didn't mean anything malicious by it. I thought I was just venting to my best friend, but she went completely quiet. At the time, I was too wrapped up in my own world to understand why. Fast forward to 4 years ago. My mom was in a severe car accident and suffered a major traumatic brain injury. She spent a long time in the hospital fighting for her life. When she finally came home, she was entirely different. She needed help with many basic things she used to do herself. I was so immensely grateful she was alive, but I also deeply missed the way she was before the accident. I was grieving the mother I used to know. About a month later, my friend asked why my mom hadn't been picking me up anymore. I opened up to her about the accident, the brain injury, and the toll it was taking on our family. She went quiet, looked at me, and flatly said, "I'm sorry, but that's nothing like my dad leaving." It hurt. It felt completely dismissive of my trauma, but I didn't say anything. I thought maybe she was right because, at the end of the day, my mom was still alive and under our roof. After that, she made a habit of reminding me that things could always be worse. If I talked about my mom's struggles or how hard the transition was, she would immediately shut me down with, "At least she's still here." I knew she meant well, or at least I hoped she did, but after hearing it so many times, I started feeling like my pain wasn't valid. I felt like I wasn't allowed to be sad about my own mother's tragic accident. The final breaking point happened last week. Some friends and I were planning a sleepover at my house. I casually mentioned that my parents would be away for their anniversary. Someone asked where they were going, and I said they were taking a weekend trip to the city. Everyone thought it was sweet, and we naturally changed the subject. Later that night, my friend called me. She was absolutely furious. She accused me of showing off again. She then unloaded a massive laundry list of all the things I had complained about over the years. My mom not cooking for me, my dad not buying me the exact car I wanted, my parents taking nice trips, and how they could always help me financially when I needed something. I was completely shocked. I told her I never meant any of those things as bragging. I was just talking about my life. But she said that was exactly what hurt her so much. She said I constantly complained about a life she would have been desperately grateful to have. I broke down and apologized. "I'm really sorry," I told her, my voice shaking. I honestly didn't realize how I sounded all these years. I even promised I would be more mindful and stop talking about money and my family around her. She just sighed. She told me she was deeply tired of my apologies, tired of my tone-deaf complaints, and simply didn't want to be my friend anymore. Then, she hung up the phone. After the call, I sat alone in my room and thought about everything. For the first time, I truly understood why my careless words had hurt her so much for so long. I learned a brutal lesson about privilege that night, but I also realized that true friendship requires empathy from both sides, and in the end, we had both failed to give it.